Welcome back to Andersen Acres. We are going to do something else with just white bread dough because that gets pretty popular. This is just plain white bread dough. I will put a link in the description to the recipe I used to make this. So we're going to use this, and because the holidays are coming up, we're going to make bow buns. They're just little bows made out of bread dough. They're really cute, really fun, and a lot of fun for the holidays. Whatever holiday you happen to celebrate. You can make them for Christmas, you can make them for New Year's, doesn't matter. Technically, you could probably make them for a birthday party. I don't. I only make them at the holidays. So this is my standard size dough. This is 3 cups of flour to 1 cup of water. Gives you this much dough. I'm going to make 8. You could make 12. They'll be slightly smaller. Or you could make 6. And then they'll be slightly larger. I'm going to do 8 today. Just because I can. So you're going to divide your dough into 8 equal pieces. Take those pieces and set them off to the side. Okay, you don't have to turn those into balls. After you cut a ball in half, you have a little oval, just set it to the side. You don't have to make that into a ball. And I'm going to do 2 different styles of bow bun, just so you can choose which one you want, because they do look a little bit different. One is a little bit wider and one is a little bit taller. So you can choose which pattern you like best. I'm not going to make you watch all 8. That would be boring. So I'll just do 2, one of each style. There we go. Now it's a good idea to have a little bit of flour off to the side just in case you need to work a little flour into your dough just in case it's too sticky. Mine's not too sticky right now. It has a little stick to it, which is good for when you're pressing dough out, but it's not too bad. So what you're going to do is press your dough into about a 4-inch circle. I've actually done a 6-inch circle, but that's because I'm letting it retract. You don't want it super thin. All right, so you want it maybe the thickness of your pinky finger when you lay your pinky finger down. Okay, so you don't want super thin. Turn it over once. And you want to try to get it mostly circular and try to keep it an even thickness throughout. There we go. That looks pretty good. Now I'm going to use my dough scraper to cut it because I don't like using a knife. This gives me a little more control and a little more exactness. So I'm going to stick my finger in the middle there and make an indent right in the middle. Don't cut into that indent. Stay on the side of it. So you're going to do 1 slice. Then you're going to come onto the other side of that indent, but you're going to make 2 slices. So you're going to offset them. 1, 2. So now you have this little guy sticking out. Now these ones, remember this is our first style. We're going to divide this into 3 pieces. 3 roughly equal pieces. So we're going to go 1, 2. Doesn't have to be perfect. 1, 2. Okay, so then what we're going to do is we're going to lift up. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're going to take the 3 on one side, lift up the middle one, take these 2, and make them so they join together. Okay, you don't have to worry too much in here. Just give it a little pinch. And then just make sure you pinch that very edge so it doesn't look weird. And then just lay this guy on top. Same here. Flip up that middle guy. These 2 you want to bring together. Pinch them together. Lay this dude on top. Now you have this middle. This is going to form the center of your bow. So you're just going to wrap that around. Lift it up, tuck it under. There's your bow. To stick that on a cookie sheet. All right, there we go. So, second type. Another rounded dough. Same deal. About a 4-inch circle. If you're doing 8 of them, you don't want too thin a dough or it won't rise properly because it'll just be too thin. So after you've stretched it, you then kind of let it fold back in on itself and just, again, about the thickness of your pinky. You don't want too thick, you don't want too thin. Okay, looks about good. So we're going to start the same way. Make an indent with your finger. That's the middle. Don't cut through the middle. 1, 1, 2. Because we still need this piece for the middle. But now what we're going to do is we're going to cut 3 slightly different sized pieces of dough. So we're going to cut a rather large one, so about half of it, and then we're going to cut this one into 2 portions. But one piece needs to be smaller than the other. The smallest piece needs to be in the middle. So we're going to do about that. So you have a big piece, a medium piece, and a small piece. Same deal on the other side. That, and about like that. So what you're going to do here, again, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The 3 on one side, lift up that tiny guy. Take your bigger guy, rotate him so he's sticking out. Take the medium guy, rotate him, put him on top, and then put the little guy on top of that. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Same here. Lift up that middle guy. Big guy gets rotated. Medium guy goes on top. Small guy goes on top. This again, fold that over. Lift up your dough. Tuck that under. That's your second style of dough, of bow bun. There we go. So that is our second style. Good for us. I'm not going to make you watch the other ones. We'll come back as soon as I have finished them. All right, so you can see that I now have my 2 styles of bow. I have these ones, which are a little bit wider, not quite as tall, and these guys that are a little skinnier, but they have more height. Either one works. You can just play with them a bit on the pan to get exactly the shape you want, or you can not worry about it. It's up to you. So these are really, really easy, but now we have to set them aside to rise. Don't touch them for an hour if you're using this dough. You can make these with any dough you like. You can make it with a sourdough or with a whole wheat. You just have to let them rise for the appropriate amount of time. This is just regular white, so we're going to stick it aside in a warm, damp location, warm and humid. I'm using the microwave. You can use whatever you have. And we're going to let it rise for an hour till they're nice and puffy. Then we'll come back and bake them. All right, so our buns have risen, our little bow buns. They have risen up. They look pretty good. We are going to bake them at 375 degrees Fahrenheit for about 25 minutes, maybe 22 minutes, depending on your oven. Now, you could glaze these with an egg wash if you wanted. You could even dye that egg wash either red or green for the holidays, and just a little bit of food coloring, like 1 drop, and that'll just give them a nice sheen. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to brush mine with butter after they come out of the oven, because that's my favorite way to glaze a bun. So I'm not going to use an egg wash, but you could. An egg wash will give you a nice shiny crust. I'm looking for a softer crust, so I'm going to use a butter wash after they come out of the oven. So we're going to bake them at 375 for about 25 minutes. We'll come back and see how they look. Well, our buns are fresh out of the oven. Yes, there are 8 of them. I only have 4 on this tray. The other 4 are still in the pan. These came out of the oven about 30 seconds ago. I do want to brush them with melted butter, but I don't need too much melted butter today. So instead of melting butter in the microwave in a small bowl, I just put some butter right on my basting brush. We're just going to take that, run it over just a little bit. We don't need a ton. Well, they're still hot. You can't wait. You have to do this while they're still hot. There we go. And you just do that and they'll look fantastic. Remember, you can use an egg wash instead if you like. I am opting to do a butter wash after they're baked because I really enjoy a butter wash on my buns. So there you have it. They are a lot of fun, and I hope you make these for yourself this holiday season because they really do impress people at the dinner table, especially if no one knows you're going to make them ahead of time. That's it for us today in the kitchen. Hope to see you tomorrow.